Hey, it's Chris, and I'm back with some awesome new iPad mini accessory recommendations. Definitely some unexpected stuff here. And we're gonna start off with what I know doesn't look like much in its box, but it's the Saharacase keyboard folio, and it's basically like a mini magic keyboard for your iPad mini. It costs $99. Now, I don't expect it to be amazing, but I'm hoping to be pleasantly surprised. Now, the reason Apple doesn't make something like this themselves is because they probably think that a keyboard this small is probably too small for the average person to actually want to use. But you can tell by how many different versions of similar things like this there are that people are buying the iPad mini 6 and wanting a keyboard that can go with it. And wow, is this thing small. That is seriously the miniest mini trackpad I've ever seen. It's clickable, doesn't click in the corners like I would expect from a cheaper keyboard case. All right, so we've got the actual iPad mini holder here, and it's got a spot for your Apple Pencil. So interestingly, the keyboard here is detachable, but it sort of magnets into place here in the case so that you can shut this and take it with you. Now, what's interesting about this is that there's some bumpers on the corners of the keyboard so that it's not gonna hurt your iPad when they're shut, when they're together. So, you know, it's pretty compact. It feels like a thick book. And when it's time to get to typing, you can open this up and you gotta take the keyboard out, bring this back here like that, and then this magnets into place. So this really is a super mini workstation here. But is it any good? We gotta power it on to find out. So I'm gonna flip it on. Oh, we got RGB lights here. I didn't even realize that. So some people are gonna like that, some people are not. All right, and the instructions here, even though this is marketed for iPad people, there's only how to pair it with a Windows device and how to pair it with an Android device. So we're set up. It does work. It's compatible. The question is, how does it type? Ooh, these are so small. All right, let me try this out here. Hey, it's Chris. Wow, this is small. The keys are so small here, I spelled bird instead of nitro. This would take a long time to get used to. I'm not gonna lie, it does feel kind of cheap. The trackpad surprisingly works for clicking around, but it doesn't appear like there's any gesture support. So honestly, for me, I'd about rather hit the double tap on the control here and actually start using iPadOS 16's brand new, amazing dictation functionality. This thing's a novelty, but is it usable? Probably steer clear here. It was an interesting idea, but it's just not practical. This is just gonna be a huge waste of your money. But now you know. Something that's not gonna be a waste of your money is the new Daily Tech wallpaper pack. I'm gonna link it up down in the description for you. All right, let's get to a real accessory. This is the StayGo Mini, and it's a tiny USB-C hub that's gonna add some much needed functionality to your iPad mini setup. So it's not as big as the original StayGo, but it does have a headphone out. It's got a USB-A, HDMI, and pass-through power. And beyond that, what it really has is some flexibility, and I'll show you what I mean in just a second. There you go. Here is the hub itself, and here is the flexibility. This is the cable that's actually pretty long, and the reason that that's good is because you could actually put this dock in right here, like this, which is nice, but if you have a case on here and you don't want to remove the case, you can actually plug this in here and then plug this in here. It's basically like an extension. So then if you have a bunch of stuff that you want to hook in, but you've got this set up on a stand with a keyboard in front, which I'm going to get to in just a second, you could have this around the back of your setup, out of the way. 12 South always comes through with the high quality here. This is no different. Everything about this is well made, well thought out, and it's nice and thin too. I mean, this is just barely thicker than the iPad mini itself. And I wanna make sure and point out too, this also works with your MacBook. So what I love about this particular hub, aside from its small size, is that it lets you do some serious things with your iPad mini. For instance, if you wanna hook up some studio quality headphones, you can do that. Or maybe you wanna stash it in the OriGrid Traveler's Notebook. So I've got here on my desk this beautiful OriGrid Traveler's Notebook, which is cool because it merges the worlds of physical note-taking and digital note-taking, because you can keep A5 size traveler notebook inserts here, and you can see you've got this brass pen clip here, but then your iPad mini magnetically attaches to the back as well. So best of both worlds. I mean, look at this thing. It looks incredible, feels incredible. I'm really glad they sponsored this video, and they actually gave me some ideas about how people might want to use this. So one example is that you could use this as a travel memoir to collect things like ticket stubs, for instance, or pictures from your different trips. You can see the OriGrid team has been all over the place putting this thing to use. Or you could also do like a journal. So the OriGrid founder has done a floral journal here with things that they've collected from some of their different hiking trips. Or as another example, you could kind of do like a development journal. Let's say you're a fashion designer or something like that. Keep track of all your different samples and stuff along with your digital drawings. And look at this, I've never seen anything like this. There's a little paper stand that folds out, and then you can actually sit your iPad on here in a variety of different viewing angles. And check this out, you could actually put your iPad down here and actually be drawing on it. And this is like a little Apple Pencil holder, all right? And then that just stashes back in here. This is what I'm talking about. I've never seen anything quite like this before, and you haven't either. But that's not all. OriGrid also has this bumper case, which you can throw on here to give you some minimal protection, scratch protection on the back, and also drop protection and screen protection on the front. So if you set this down on a surface, it's not just right on the screen. And if you drop it, it's also not gonna hurt the edges because you've got the bumper protection. But this thing also magnetically attaches into the back, and everything fits in here. So you can put this on just like that and take it with you, and nothing's gonna fall out or get lost, and you got everything that you need. But we're still not done here, because look at this. The bumper case itself comes with its own magnetic stand. Attach it to the back, and you've got a great stand here for viewing your iPad. And honestly, I can't even hardly tell that that bumper case is on there. Some good stuff for sure, but we're not done yet. Let's say you want to turn your iPad mini into a serious workstation, and you need a keyboard that actually works. Well, this is the MX Mechanical Mini. It's a brand new wireless illuminated keyboard from Logitech that seriously everybody seems to be talking about. I couldn't wait to get my hands on it. I just got it in the mail. And we're gonna test that out along with this Banks magnetic stand. All right, so let's get the stand going first. And what I already love about it, before we even get into it, is that you don't have to attach any kind of sticker to the back that's gonna make it magnetic. It's just magnetic right out of the box. So I can just put the iPad mini on here and there it is. Oh, this is great. For one thing, it's adjustable, so you can dial in the perfect viewing angle, and it's also able to rotate. Very simple, but honestly, more enjoyable than a lot of the iPad stands I've ever encountered. So that goes there, and then this is the MX Mechanical Mini, which does not at all look like what I expected. Probably just more or less looks like any old keyboard that you ever encountered. But in real life though, this thing is interesting. It almost has a retro vibe to it, but it also doesn't look boring. All right, and we're paired, so it's time to do a typing test, see how this thing works. So, oh, luxurious. Now this is the way to type. It does have that mechanical feel, but number one, it's not so loud that it's gonna blow the eardrums of the person sitting next to you and annoy the crap out of them, or yourself if you don't like clicky clacky things, but it's actually really low profile. For a mechanical keyboard, this thing is actually pretty thin. Now, unlike some of the K-series mechanical keyboards, you do have some feet on the bottom that'll let you flip this open for a better typing angle, which yeah, I definitely like better. It's honestly really enjoyable. Now you can connect up to 3 different devices, so you can use it with your iPad, your Mini, or your Mac, or whatever else. And you can see right on the video here, it's not that much bigger in terms of how long it is than the Mini itself. Now, one thing I did notice is that the keys don't map exactly how you might like. The volume up is actually the play button. Volume off is the stop button. But maybe that's just because I'm on iPadOS 16 beta right now. You got your backlighting here that you can adjust, turn it up or down. I like that. And here's the thing, you can go 15 days without charging if you use that backlight, or up to 10 months with the backlight turned off. Seriously, you could get some amazing work done here. And I like this. If I turn this like this, get it rotated, open up my notes, I prefer to type like this. The vertical typing experience is so good because it's like an actual piece of paper is in front of you. And you know what? This stand is plenty sturdy to actually draw and sketch on here. So you throw your paper-like on here, and I think you have an ultimate iPad mini setup. I'm gonna link all this stuff up down in the description so you can check it out. I'm also gonna link up the podcast, which you need to get in on, but even more than that, you need to get in on our newsletter, especially if you like discovering new apps and accessories for all your Apple gear. We put it on autopilot for you, and it just shows up every Friday right in your inbox, and you're good to go. So thanks for hanging out today. Make sure you get yourself subscribed, and I'll catch you in the next video. Later.